Thank you, dear Jean and the KT Press team. It's my pleasure to host you here in the Turkish Embassy. And it's been like 2.5 years that I'm in Rwanda now. And to be frank, a lot of people remember Rwanda with 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Everybody knows by heart what happened then in Rwanda. But very few people are aware that Rwanda is now totally a different state. Rwanda is doing like a miracle, and it's a model country in many respects. And within this 27 years since 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, Rwanda has become one of the most secure, most stable, most clean, and institutionally very strong country. And Rwanda surprises really people when people arrive to Rwanda. In Rwanda, what attracted me most is actually good visionary leadership together with dedication of people can achieve a lot in Rwanda. And Rwanda is a really good example of this motto. This is actually what I'm impressed about Rwanda. And I see many similarities with my own country dating back to the initial days of the establishment of the modern Turkish Republic. And I see that Rwanda is passing through this journey now. And with devotion of the people, everything is achievable. This is impressing me a lot when it comes to Rwanda. And national ways of made in Rwanda kind of solutions also attracts me, impresses me a lot. Yes, we opened our embassy at the end of 2014, the beginning of 2015 in Kigali. But of course, we were covering Rwanda from another embassy in the region. So we are quite a new embassy in Rwanda. And I'm the second ambassador. But when you compare with this short span of time with the amount of relations that we have achieved since 2015, I can easily say that our relations are developing very rapidly. And we are covering a lot of areas, starting primarily with trade, investments, and economic relations, but also education, also culture, also skill building and defense industry and many other areas. And I'm sure this is the beginning of a very fruitful journey. And in the coming days, in the coming period, actually, we will be expanding these relations in a much wider way. This is a mutually beneficial kind of relationship between Turkey and Rwanda. And Turkey is looking at Africa actually in mutually beneficial, establishing mutual beneficial relations with all African countries, including Rwanda. And we see Rwanda, for instance, as a stable, as a trustable partner in East Africa, doing a lot of actually good work in different areas. It's a strategic partner for us in its region and beyond its region. And Turkey, on the other hand, is a good partner for Rwanda because Turkey is very active in Africa and very dynamic country in its region. And it has a very sincere relationship with all countries in Africa. Thanks to the fact that we do not have a historical baggage, perhaps, and all our relations are based on mutual respect, win-win, and mutually beneficial kind of relationship. Yes, first of all, I think we have a solid base in terms of international agreements with respect to different areas of our relations. We have more than, I think, 20 agreements or MOUs conducted between our countries, covering from political cooperation to economic and trade, to cultural, to education in different areas. So the basis is already there. And when it comes to concrete projects, of course, I'll start with trade, economic, and investment area. Definitely, all people, Rwandan people, know Turkey with construction. I think in Rwanda, two landmark buildings, namely Kigali Convention Center and Kigali Arena, are constructed by a Turkish company. And that Turkish company is doing other work also here. It's not limited to that. So construction is our first area that we produced a lot of good work for Rwandan people. The second area is energy. Hakan Energy is now about to complete its construction for a peat power project plant in southern Rwanda. And hopefully by the end of this year, they will be starting producing electricity, which will be a major input for Rwandan targets of providing all households with electricity. So these two projects are construction and energy are the primary most important areas. But other than that, now more and more Turkish people are showing interest in producing in Rwanda, which is also a very good development given the fact that Rwanda is providing a very business-friendly environment for international investors. And Turkish business people are exploring more in this area. And I know that recently some Turkish business people started producing hygienic products, baby diapers, and some construction materials here in Rwanda. And they're, of course, aiming at other larger neighboring regions, not only Rwandan market. And furniture also, I've forgotten to mention that. And the third area is tourism. I'm very happy to announce that one of the biggest hot air balloons in Turkey, now they are testing flies over Akagera National Park, and very soon they are going to start fully their operations in Rwanda, supporting Rwandan tourism sector, increasing tourist attractions, which will mean hopefully more tourism revenues for Rwanda. This is also a good area that I can say as a concrete project between our countries. Another important area that we are exploring is finance sector. We know that Kigali International Finance Center will be an important, a major input in Africa. And Rwanda is really putting a lot of effort to be one of the financial hubs in Africa. And Turkey is now eyeing more cooperation with Kigali International Finance Center. And just a couple of weeks ago, we organized a webinar between Kigali International Finance Center and Turkish counterparts to explore more cooperation in finance sector. And I'm also happy to announce that one of the Turkish investment banks, Aktif Bank, is opening its regional representative office in Kigali. Pending the final clearance from Rwanda National Bank, which is going to be an important contribution, both supporting Kigali Financial Center, but also interested Turkish business people coming more to Rwanda. So this is what we have been doing so far in investments and trade. Trade, I have to say that despite COVID, last year, we have experienced a twofold increase in our total trade volume with Rwanda, which is a very good development to my mind, because COVID posed a lot of challenges, but COVID also brought some opportunities actually. And like all countries, Rwanda looked for alternative markets and also some efforts for enriching its supply chains. And I think Turkey provided a good alternative market for Rwanda. And we are at the very beginning. Of course, these trade relations will flourish further. And I'm happy that also Turkish side is showing more interest to buy coffee from Rwanda and also some minerals from Rwanda. So this is again a both win-win kind of cooperation area. So this is so far regarding trade and economic relations. But when it comes to education, skill building, we also have very strong relationship between our countries. For skill building, I can happily say that we are contributing to capacity building efforts of security and defense forces and also Rwandan diplomats here in the Minafet. Very recently, we organized a online virtual training program for newly recruited Rwandan diplomats. And we are going to repeat it after COVID with a physical face-to-face training soon, I hope. But also other training activities are continuing for Rwanda Police and Rwanda Defense Forces. So this is also a way of providing more input for capacity building efforts of Rwanda. And Turkey also is willing to open a TVET school in Rwanda, because I understand that Rwanda is relying very much on human capital, and in order to contribute for the capacity building and the betterment of human capital, I think this TVET school will be very beneficial. We are discussing right now with the Ministry of Education. So this is, the preparations are still going on. This is going to take some time. Of course, it's not easy to open a TVET school very soon, but we're working on that. For education, Turkey is also providing a lot of scholarships for Rwandan students who would prefer to study in Turkey. And we fully cover all their expenses when they are in Turkey. We also offer PhD and master's degree programs. Definitely the latest development actually is in the area of academic and cultural cooperation. Yunus Emre Institute of Turkey and University of Rwanda signed a cooperation MOU in 2019, and now we have a Turkish instructor who is posted to University of Rwanda. And next week, actually, they are going to start offering Turkish language classes, both online and physical classes, by the way, at the University of Rwanda. And this is going to be the first step, again, in the area of cultural cooperation and academic cooperation between Rwanda and Turkey. Maybe in the coming days, in the coming period, this will turn out to be a fully fledged cultural center operating in Kigali. This is our final target, actually. So in a nutshell, these are the first things that came to my mind. And I can easily say that Turkey aims at strengthening its cooperation and its contribution in Rwanda, first for the physical infrastructure and also for the human capital. So it works in two major areas. The test is very interesting.
Yes.
They did, I think the previous weekend, they did very first fly over Akagera together with Rwanda Civil Aviation Authority and the park officials, of course. But they will keep flying a little bit more to test everything in terms of safety and everything is okay. I will let you know. I will let you know about that. Rwanda will always have a very special place in my heart, you know. I learned a lot from Rwandan people and from the experience of Rwanda. And when I arrived here, I was very happy to see that there was a very friendly environment, that we can build stronger relations between our countries. It's not just limited to trade and economics, but my major aim would be to increase people-to-people contacts, you know. That's why I'm attaching a lot of importance in skill building, in human capacity building, education, cultural cooperation, you know, people. I put every time people at the very center. And I'm sure after I complete my duties here, I will share with you some concrete progress in these areas, of course. And by the way, gender is also another important area. We worked with UNDP. We contributed to UNDP's project in Gender Seal project, actually. They were conducting with Gender Monitoring Office and Ministry of Family and Gender. We were their main partner this year in order to increase the woman empowerment and woman representation in the private sector. We had a good cooperation with the UNDP and with relevant Rwandan institutions here. So gender will be, I think, remaining my priorities also here. I frankly believe that there are a lot of things we need to learn from Rwanda in Turkey with regards to increasing gender equality and women empowerment. But at the same time, I think we can also contribute to Rwandan efforts to increase more gender balance in private sector and encouraging more women entrepreneurs in taking more part in economic activities. So this will be also another important area for myself personally. Yes. As I told you, actually, COVID posed us a lot of challenges, but also brought us with a lot of opportunities. And now we are more in contact with PSF, for instance, in their efforts to find more reliable or alternative supply partners, supply markets. And Turkey has emerged to be one of the alternative markets that Rwanda is now buying more. So yes, difficulties still there, but also opportunities are there. Also, government of Turkey is in good cooperation with Rwanda Ministry of Health and RBC. We provided some protective equipment and face masks at the very initial days of the pandemic. And more Turkish NGOs are also contributing in providing COVID support to Rwanda. So it's not only government, but also NGOs are included. And I believe that we will have a room for a much closer cooperation in the health sector in the coming period. This could be also in the area of capacity building again in health sector, but also Turkey is definitely willing to provide more technological support in the field of health to Rwanda. That area could be, I think, another priority areas for the future. As I told you before, I see many similarities between what Turkey has managed some 100 years ago. 2023 will be our centenary for the establishment of our Turkish Republic. What Turkey has achieved 100 years ago and what Rwanda is trying to achieve now. I see many parallels. I see many similarities. And we also had at that time a visionary, very strong leader, the founding father of our republic, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. actually who shed light on independence struggle of many nations, many countries at that time. He was an inspirational leader at that time. And now what Rwandan president is doing for Rwanda is very similar. So these strong leaders shedding lights, providing our vision is very important. But also from scratch, from the shattered Ottoman Empire, the transition from a collapsed empire to a modern Turkish republic was not easy. And from what Rwanda experienced in 1994 and what Rwanda is now is also not easy. So I think our transformation journeys are very similar. That's why I wholeheartedly believe that our experience could be one of the best practices sharing with Rwandan people. And now Turkey is a dynamic economy, playing an important role not only in its region but beyond its region. We are members of many prominent international organizations, and in all these organizations we are voicing the concerns of developing countries and least developed countries, including African countries. And Turkey is now very active in Africa. We have 43 embassies throughout Africa. Turkish Airlines is flying 40 countries with 60 destinations. We have TİKA, Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, very actively working throughout the whole continent. They have 22 resident offices in different countries. And Turkish trade with Africa, when we compare with 2003 to this date, it increased fourfold, more than fourfold maybe, from 5 billion to 25 billion. Turkish investors are everywhere in Africa. The total volume of Turkish investments in Africa is now, I think, more than 6 billion. And Turkish contractors, they assumed more than 70 billion USD work. So these are really impressive numbers when you compare it within a very short span of time. And that's why I believe that Turkey has always been, and Turkey will be, a reliable partner for Africa and for Rwanda. I wholeheartedly believe that Rwanda can benefit a lot from a partner like Turkey, and Turkey can benefit a lot from a partner like Rwanda. With all our experience, our institutions, our democracy, our potential, we have a very young population, again, like Rwanda in Turkey. And this is where our dynamism comes from. It comes from the people, from the young generation. So there are very, very much similarities between the two countries. The 15th of July is an important date for us. I'm sure you all know our experience in 2016, the failed coup attempt by Fethullah Gülen terrorist organization. That meant to be a major blow to Turkish democracy, trying to seize the government through a failed coup. But it turned out to be actually a major victory for Turkish democracy, because at that night, when fighter jets were bombing our parliament, which was unbelievable in 21st century, they didn't stay at home, they were all on the streets defending their democracy. At that night, we lost 251 people, Turkish people, against the coup plotters. But now I think we are stronger in terms of democracy. And every 15th of July, we are commemorating the lost lives at that night. And we are remembering, how important it is to stick to democracy and trust to your own people. And of course, these people were not just operating inside Turkey, but they were also active in many countries, including Africa and Rwanda. And here once more, I have to express my heartfelt gratitude to Rwandan government for supporting us in this matter always, ensuring a close collaboration against these people because what was more dangerous is that this organization was a clandestine organization, and they were organizing everything under the cover of a very innocent area, education. That was the I think key point, because you never realize education is a very positive agenda. Nobody says no, but if you use education as a cover and you have a second agenda, other thoughts, destroying collaboration, cooperation between countries, then that becomes another story. I take this opportunity to thank once again the government of Rwanda in supporting us in this matter. On 15th of July, we're going to organize a small commemoration in our embassy, and we're going to pay our respects to those who lost their lives at that dark night. And finally, of course, I would like to congratulate Rwanda, because now the 1st of July and 4th of July are coming. 1st of July, Independence Day, and 4th of July, Liberation Day of Rwanda. And I really want to thank every Rwandan here for making my stay here such a pleasant stay, such a fruitful stay. And I really would like to continue our talks in this structure for the coming period, to prove that I'm working very hard. Definitely. I thank you so much.
Thank you.